What up?
Ew.
What up?
Ew. What up? What up?
Snowing? Snowing? Muskegon?
No,
Snow?
no, warming up. We got a heat wave coming through.
Heat wave.
Heat wave, just like the hot stove from MLB, which isn't that hot right now.
No, it's not. Next week it will be. By the end of the week it will be.
We'll see. All it's going to take is Ohtani and Yamamoto to sign, and then the rest of all the dominoes are going to fall.
Absolutely. I think Soto's going to go before Yamamoto.
Yeah, people are already calling the time. 242, 243, 236, 231. I'm going to go for
I got my standard.
I'm going 28.
34.
28 and 34. All right. I got 28.
I always have 34. It's my number, 34.
What is that? What does that represent?
Nothing. It's just a number I picked.
How many excuses you give a night when you shoot 540?
I did last night again.
540?
But I won all my points.
What a great team player.
Points.
What about the,
And we took 23 out of 28.
Did you take the series?
I did. I won everything. I won all the points, all 4 points.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
I did. Thank you.
Great bowler.
Great bowler.
Yeah. See?
Yeah. So anyway.
What else is going on? You're coming up here next week.
I am. I get in Monday, whatever time I get in.
Yeah.
And then I'm in all week. I leave Friday. We're bowling Thursday night. I'm bowling with the boys.
Bowling.
I got to dig out my Pinterest shirt.
Yeah, you better find that and wash it up.
Oh, I got it. No, it's clean. It's hung up.
You're going to drill your own ball, right, when you get here?
Well, you're going to drill my ball for me.
I am not drilling your ball.
Really?
You don't? What am I? A driller?
No, you're my friend. You wouldn't drill my ball?
I've never drilled a bowling ball in my life.
Well.
Nice. Don't you drill your own stuff?
I do, but I drill it on not a Gilmag, Litchco.
Litchco? So you don't know how to work a vacuum press?
I don't like moving that thing around and all.
Moving ball. What around? Moving the ball?
Yeah.
So you want an Ovalmatic? Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah. Litchco Ovalmatic. That's what I use.
We got one of those too.
You do?
Yeah.
I'll drill my own ball in.
All right. Great.
You have gauges on it too? Pitch gauges?
I don't know.
Oh.
I use the vacuum press, so
I know you do, because that's like it's moved. I hate moving the ball.
I don't want to move the ball.
That's how come I hit my lines perfectly, by the way.
You don't hit your lines, so I think you should just
hit my lines perfectly.
You should just try to,
That line is irrelevant when you measure your fingers.
I will drill your bowling ball if you want, but on one condition.
What? It's probably some ridiculous condition. But
that you actually have to be in the room with me while I'm drilling it.
Absolutely.
All right. Don't be like, oh, I got a meeting. I got to go talk to Brian.
Yeah, you're right. What am I thinking? I'm up there for work. What was I thinking?
Exactly. Like, no. I'll put this ball in the trash. Let's go. Come on. We got to drill this thing.
All right.
So we got a show topic today, don't we?
We do. That's pretty interesting. It's always been a topic in the bowling world.
Yeah.
In moderately recent years, from the 80s probably on.
Okay. What changed? What happened in the 80s that was?
I think the system of bowling in 88 is when it started.
Mm-hmm.
Scores started getting easier and easier. The scoring pace was higher and higher. And I think when they mandated the short oil rule, 24 feet, and you can do whatever you want to the lane, or I guess if it was over 24 feet, you had to have units outside of 10.
Yeah.
And I think when that happened, it let resin balls play. The first resin ball would have never played if that rule had not been in place, because there wasn't enough friction the other way.
So when resin first came out, how long did it take for it to be mainstream? Like, how long after did it actually come out?
When the system of bowling was 88 was passed.
But resin wasn't until
no, but it came out right. That worked right away on short oil hooking lanes.
Yeah,
that's what made it so popular.
So you're saying it was instant as soon as people saw it?
Absolutely. When you first saw it, how old? Well, I don't know if you were
I was
older,
12.
so you saw it.
I didn't really see it.
You didn't see it. Yeah, it
No.
was day and night.
Hmm.
I mean, look at it this way. Okay, you ready? It's the same thing as today. The guy throws a urethane ball, and what do you see with a urethane ball?
A bunch of people
I mean,
crying out in
yeah.
the background.
Other than that, you do. What do you see?
A bunch of so-called scientists making rules.
Exactly. You can see that too.
Yeah.
But you
Oh.
see a gradual transition, down the lane.
Yeah.
Okay. Then suddenly you throw a resin ball in the same spot and it hits the friction down lane and it makes a quick left turn.
hmm
That's what we saw then.
Is that like equivalent to discovering fire for the early man?
I wouldn't give it that status.
Would it be
But
like discovering rock and roll, like the first person to like grab a
yeah, there you go.
guitar?
No, but it was more like, oh my God, always wanted my ball to do that,
I wanted to hook that much, sure.
but I never had the talent to do it. So guess what I did? I went out and
Bought my talent.
bought my talent. And then I guess it made it a different world when that happened. But it
And now
only worked. It only worked on when there was friction.
And now it's regressed. It's gone backwards. Hey, you know what we're forgetting? We're totally
What?
forgetting something. We're
Today we have a
forgetting.
drawing.
We have drawing today. We don't want
I
to get too
know.
far into the topic before we start posting the link. I'm going to post the link right
True.
now so everybody can get in there and get their
Yeah.
entry in, because last week someone won
Oh my God!
the grand prize. It's a major award.
Man, what did he take? Do you know what balls he took?
I do. He talked to his pro shop and he talked to me a little bit about it.
Okay.
And in the end, he went with the hitter, zigzag, and outer limits.
Wow, that's a great 3-ball arsenal.
I know. He likes. Actually, no, I take that back. He went hitter, zigzag, deadly rattler. That's right. 2 ASIMs, 1 symmetrical.
That's still a great arsenal.
Yep. So yeah, we might give away another one. Never know.
I can't afford it.
Well, let's break the bank with Phil here. So
that's right. We can do it next week when I'm there.
we're gonna spin the wheel a little bit later at the top of the hour.
We'll
post that link a few more times throughout the show so that everybody has a chance, because everybody pops in and out. We understand that, so we're gonna pop the link in there a couple more times. Should we do a sample spin here?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's see let's see the sample here. What is the sample gonna
chamois. I'm taking chamois.
Ball cup.
Chamois.
Oh, what do we got there? Ball cup. Boom.
Ball cup. Oh boy. All right. At least we know.
All right.
What are the odds of ball cup hitting again?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not good at math.
I know it. That's amazing. Anyway,
Rob says, "Isn't the show sponsored by something?"
It is. Isn't it? What is that ball again?
You mean the Clear Magic?
No, it's a ball cleaner. Sponsored by Clear Magic.
Hey,
it is a plant-based product. It comes with a sheet that you put in there with water, like that. Shake it up, and then it comes out in the foam. And I've actually been cleaning bowling balls because I like this stuff, and I've never done that before.
Right? You never touch anything.
No, I don't touch anything. It's what it is. It's what it is.
Hey, so someone asked me a question in the chat, but I'm going to defer it to you so you can answer, and I want to just get your response from it. I want to see your reaction. Ready?
Wait, I can't wait.
Hey, Nick, what do you do at Brunswick?
You're not the only one that asked that question, Daryl. We all asked that question. Where is Nick, and what does he actually do?
What do you actually do here? That is a great question.
What does he do here?
Nick
does a lot.
I like to think of myself as, the guy, behind the guy that makes the engine run for social media and videos.
That's what I do. That's what you do. He is a social media guru.
Yeah, I work in marketing. So everything you see posted from any of our 7 brands came from my computer.
From his
How about that?
Fat little fingers.
So yeah, that's what I do. And I also do this show. I do this. Actually, my this is part of my community service. I
He
had to
said
I had to
he
do
had
300
he said,
I had to do 50 hours of community service. I'm like, "Hey, Phil, let's do a podcast." I
"Let's
think
do a
they said it.
podcast." And then when it's up, the 50th one he'll be done. "I'm free. I'm free."
And the show's over.
When they take off the ankle bracelet. But anyway, so today's topic is bowling a we said game, let's call it a recreation or a sport.
Which one is
Um,
it?
well, you know what? It's interesting. I think it's both. Um, and there's a lot to it. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to think it's both. You know what? I'm not saying compare professional bowling to amateur bowling. I'm talking about just the environment of bowling is allows for both. You know,
Sure.
you can have a recreation when you go to your league. Well, let's talk about the definition of both for argument's sake. You know, under recreation, uh, or the game of bowling. You have the pleasure of bowling, the enjoyment. For recreation, it's an activity that's amusing. It diverts away from everyday things you do. It stimulates your emotions. You know, makes you happy to do things like that. It's a physical recreation, but it's a laid back and it's more social.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
It's a
depending
recreation.
on
You know,
what you want to do bowling for. I mean, people bowl for fun. People go out
right?
on a Friday night and bring some friends, and they don't
Yeah,
own a ball. They have no interest in owning a ball,
right,
but they want to go
right.
bowl and
Hmm.
have fun.
Yeah,
So it's the game that the game form. You know, we want to go
right.
play the game of bowling.
Or you can even belong to a league and have it be considered a recreation. You know, belong to a league. I've seen leagues where everybody goes to Vegas. They have Vegas leagues.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
do that
and
here. Detroit Red Wings, Detroit Tigers leagues
yeah,
and
and
stuff. Where,
everybody, and there's really not no difference in the prize fund.
yeah,
You
there's
know, I
no.
mean, they might get a trophy at the end of the year, but you know, everybody goes on a cruise. Everybody goes on vacation. You know, and that's part of the game side or the recreation side. On the sports side or the competitive side of it, you have the competition, and it's success driven. You know, you want to do better at the sport of bowling, because you have other goals in mind. It's physical exertion under a set of rules. You know, that's what sport is, and practice is undertaken in order to improve.
Mhm.
You know, now in our environment of bowling, on the game side, you know, the key is enjoyment. So what did proprietors do to make it more enjoyable? Well, they wanted everybody to have fun, so they
Mhm.
might have made the lanes a little more playable, um, so that you get more enjoyment without having to practice, because practice is the key side on the sports side of it. Go into the lanes and practice honing your skills in order to become better, as opposed to having the steerability built into the lane.
Well, it almost sounds like from there, it's almost like there's a mid range there. There's a hobby side of it where
Correct. Correct.
I don't treat it as a sport. I like to have a good time, but I also like success. I want to see my better scores for myself, not necessarily to go
Right.
out and compete, but for my own sake, you know, because
Yeah.
there's some form of recreation where they don't even know what oil on the lane does. Like other than
I agree with you,
don't go out there because you'll slip.
but
That's
you'll fall down.
that's
Right.
the extent of what they know about lane oil
Right. Right.
and why it's there. You know,
Right.
the lanes are greased.
One of the downsides of the whole scenario we're in right now is the people that wanted to be on the competitive side also want their scores to be inflated.
Hmm. Yeah,
You know,
you don't get it both ways. You don't just
well,
they don't translate because there's some people that don't understand. Like, all right, you're bowling in a league and your average is say 230,
right.
and that is by all terms is very very good.
Right.
But that doesn't translate
Yeah.
100%
Mm-mm.
when you go bowl sport type or competitive type PBA type regionals or PBA
Correct.
Tour,
Correct.
US Open, USBC Masters, even
Right.
Open Championship. All of a sudden, all these
Yeah.
230 averages now are averaging 180.
Exactly. and again, it doesn't really matter unless you take that what let's call the recreation side, where you average 230,
Hmm.
to the competitive side or the sports side. Even though you're in a competitive environment, you don't have the skills to go there because you are a recreation bowler. Now, people are going to say, "Well, I compete. I bowl for money. I bowl pot game." It's great. If
That's
250 is your par score for a pot game,
that's
um, that's what it
great for
is.
your environment. That's in your
In
environment
your
there.
environment, right?
Hmm.
And that's exactly right. But if 190 is the score you have to bowl in a pot game to win, well, then you're dealing with a different set of rules. And that's where the competitive edge comes in and the sports side. We talk all the time about lane conditions. You and I talked about it when we started, before we got on the show, about house shot. In there was no such thing as house shot. It was the house, and that house was either an easier house or a more difficult house, and not necessarily because of the pattern that was put on the lane. It could have been the gutter levels, or the kick plates and stuff like that made the pin carry better. But when they invented the lane machine, and it was the Century whatever lane machine that first came out,
What do you mean they invented? I thought you invented the lane
I
machine.
invented pin down.
Oh,
And
got it. Okay.
pin down, yeah.
I thought you invented it all, everything.
No, not the lane machine. I invented the program to put into the lane machine, but not the lane machine
Got it. Got
per
it. Got
se.
it. Yeah.
So when the Century machine came out, it was simply a wick that applied oil to a roller and put it on the lane. But then guess what? They figured out how to put steerability in it,
Yeah.
and they created little plastic shims
Hmm.
that were different colors and had different thicknesses. So you can take the thinner ones and put them out by the gutter and gradually build up to
A
the
shot.
center,
Yeah.
and now you had steerability, but it wasn't as um,
I had a guy who used to
Isaac.
hack those machines back in the 80s. Is the way he would do it is he'd actually melt Vaseline into the lane oil. No, serious. And then
I'm listening.
when he put the block of oil in the middle, it would hold up forever. It wouldn't go away
Right, right,
because it
right.
had Vaseline built in. But yeah,
Well,
the shimming and
The PBA used STP
yeah,
in
right.
the oil to create a launching pad for the balls to get them down the lane.
I thought it was Quaker State. When did the Quaker State open?
Yeah, exactly. So when those things started to happen, the guy going to the lanes to bowl on a lane that was oiled with a towel and a board that was the width of the lane, practice releasing the ball the same way and hitting whatever board he had to hit most consistently. I mean, I myself would go out and practice. I would take a piece of bowler's tape or tape. Bowler's tape wasn't even invented then. A piece of tape, electrical tape, and I would roll it up and then put another piece over it, and I would place
Oh,
that on a board.
so you can hear it.
I could hear it, and when
Hmm.
it would hit it, and then I would practice that, and then I would practice putting two pieces of tape down the lane and go over one in between the two.
Wow. Did you ever do the cones like Johnny likes to
Oh,
show? Like
no, I just did the tape.
you weren't a cone guy inside the cone at the arrows, outside the
Right.
cone at
Yeah,
the
Johnny
3 point.
showed that. Right. But
Yeah.
I did that, and because there was no steerability in the lane, so once steerability came into play, it wasn't as necessary to be as accurate. Now, one of the advantages you have by doing that is your release becomes more consistent. Now you're not throwing it 100 different ways, but you're hitting the target. Then the steerability came, and it wasn't necessary to actually be that accurate. So you didn't need to, unless you wanted to, you didn't need to have to practice that often to be as successful as you were. If you want to
Mhm.
be better than anybody else, you still practiced. Don't get me wrong. But you had more of a positive feedback. I mean, I remember days where you couldn't get the five out on lanes because of the way they were oiled and not cleaned. You know, so I mean that's part of it. Then with the lane machines we have nowadays, where they paint a pattern on the lane, they predict where you have to play and how you have to play them.
Sure, they
So
dictate that for
they
sure.
dictate
They
it.
can dictate the scoring pace for most people.
Absolutely right. So then, but that's still the competitive side of bowling because they use that across the board. Now I don't know how much I do know how different they are. For let's say for a PBA stop, and even among the PBA stops, there's degrees of difficulty from the whatever regional you're bowling in to the U.S. Open, or the Masters. The patterns can vary. So that in the sport of bowling, the competitive side of it, there's many, many levels. I'm not saying it's a cut and dry, draw the line from here to here. There's different levels. And then the competitiveness becomes whether it's monetary, how much you're bowling for and what you're bowling for.
Yeah, something has to drive you. Everybody's either got that itch
Right.
to be great, to want to improve, or to want to win money, to win
Yep.
titles.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have that drive, and also, talent. It's like, even at the professional level,
Mm-hmm.
when you say bowling's a sport, okay, in the professional ranks, bowling is a sport, but are they really athletes in that sense?
Well, that again is interesting. Um,
Questionable, right?
Yeah, no, it is. It's questionable, but depending on the how grueling
Mm-hmm.
the event is, I mean, if you're
There's
bowling a 7-game block one time,
it's not much,
it's enough, but it's not much. So the athleticism is probably less prevalent.
right? But
As
if you're
if you're
bowling
bowling
50 games in a week, then the wear and tear starts to add up day after day.
absolutely, absolutely. Amaletto was one of the first bowlers, and I know Amaletto a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
who felt that was important, very important.
To
I
stay in
mean,
shape
stay in shape. He would run.
through the hallways. I heard in the winter.
He would run. I'm not exaggerating. He would run more than I would actually drive my car
To the
to the
bowl.
lanes and back. Right.
Yeah.
For the week.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in shape, and Amaletto was good in the big tournaments. He was better shape than anybody else.
And it's
And then
also equated to longevity. He's still bowling. He's still
absolutely,
winning titles in his 60s.
that's exactly right.
Yeah. Same with
That's exactly,
Parker. Parker,
Parker's
same
the same
thing.
way. And Parker wasn't a runner though.
No, he was more of an ice cream guy. He still is.
Unbelievable. The guy. He's probably 10 pounds heavier than he was when I met him when he was 16.
Right.
And
He's a
but
junk food guy.
he's an ice cream fanatic.
Yes. That's the
We were
greatest
driving
part.
Florida, going somewhere, and he said, "Pull over. I want to get we went to Dairy Queen."
Exactly where we went in Washington.
And he ordered, and he told the lady how to make it through the window. He told the lady how to make it because he said they don't do it this way. It doesn't mix properly or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Because you get the mixer, you get the whatever they call it, where you turn upside down, the blizzard.
Yeah. That's what it was. It was a blizzard.
Yeah, normally they just put the ice cream in and they put the stuff on top and they try to blend it. You got to put some at different levels. You got to keep
He told
adding
the
to
lady
it.
this through the drive-through.
You got to get equal. Otherwise, like the last third of it is just ice cream. And that's no fun.
Anyway, but again, these are the guys that stayed in shape, and there is longevity to it.
Yeah.
So that's the competitive side of bowling. But again, it's scoring pace, paying a premium for or paying the penalty for your bad shots and getting a premium for your good shots. When you look at league, you talk about league being a competitive environment. But is it a competitive environment on a competitive condition, or is it a competitive environment on a recreation condition?
Yeah,
and that's the separation. I've had many people complain that it's the bowling balls.
bowling balls.
I totally disagree with that. We only build balls for what the environment allows. I mean. Period. If you put no oil in a lane, we'd build plastic balls that worked on that.
Mm-hmm. And it worked fine.
And they work fine. You flood them, we build balls for that. So, and also for the bowler style. People don't want to bowl bad.
No, that's not fun. People quit.
It's not fun. They quit. Right.
Yeah. Because they see themselves as, I'm great. If I'm not bowling great, there must be something wrong with the lanes.
Yeah, it can't be me.
Yeah.
Don't
tell me.
Yeah, don't tell me I'm not.
Don't tell me I need to practice.
Right.
Don't tell me.
That's why ball sales are the way they are. People buy it. They want to buy it. You
Yeah.
know, I don't want to practice. I want to buy the hook. So, but it's funny because when you deal with people, even beginners, that buy their first ball, um, I've seen it for years. They come in and they want to buy a bowling ball. So they go to, and I don't know the prices, so I'm just gonna wing it because I don't know the pro shop prices. But I'm saying if you initially walk in, they want to buy a bowling ball for $100. You know, the guy shows them a polyester ball.
Nah.
Well, no, the person will buy it because
Oh,
they walked in and these are 200 and these are 100.
yeah.
Well, I just need that. I only bowl occasionally. They buy the $100 ball. And then literally 2 or 3 weeks later, they come in and say, "How come I can't get my ball to make that move? You
How do I
know,
curve it?
how do I make it spin more?" Whatever they say,
Yeah.
right? Curve it.
I want the ball with the spin in it. That's what I got all the time.
Yeah, right. So now what happens? They didn't want to learn to hook the polyester ball,
No.
which you could do on today's conditions. Just go stand outside of 5 or 7 around there on a lane with the way the patterns
That's
are.
asking a lot though, because
It is, right?
you ask most even intermediate advanced players, say,
Yeah,
hey, I want you to just play outside 5.
yeah. I can't.
I
Yeah.
can't do that.
Well, or I don't like to do that. Well, okay, great.
I'm
You know,
telling yeah.
it's funny. When I was bowling competitively, my dad, used to tell me all the time, if you can't play every board on that lane, you're not that good.
Mhm.
And I would go practice starting on the one board.
I don't agree with that 100%, but go on.
It was my dad. He's 100% correct. But anyway, he
He invented 100%
he
correctness.
told me that, and I would start practicing playing the one board, the two board, the three board, the four board, all the way up until like 20. I
Yeah, I
couldn't
was
get
gonna
the rest.
say you're left-handed.
Yeah,
You don't need to go past 7.
it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the ball return being right next to the thing at the time. But anyway, it made sense to me that if I'm going to be the best bowler I can be, I better learn to play more parts of the lane.
And get comfortable doing it, sure.
Exactly. So that person that bought that polyester ball and wanted to get a hook, rather than learning how to curve the ball, they went into the pro shop and said, "This ball," and he said, "Well, that ball's not going to be. It's an entry level ball. Here's your next ball," and they buy them something at the next level that hooks more. So that makes it less of a sport and more of an enjoyment situation of a game or recreation,
Well,
in my opinion.
does that translate to golf though? Because,
Sure,
with
it
all the
does.
high-end drivers and stuff, well, why don't you just start with your dad's persimmons
Mhm.
and learn how to play it with those,
No, in that case, you're right. It doesn't. But if you started out learning how to hit blades,
Yeah.
how good would you be?
Probably worse. I'd probably quit early on.
Or you keep hitting them in the right spot.
Yeah, that's the thing. Why do my hands always hurt?
Yeah, exactly. But and same thing with golf. And I don't like to make that comparison. But when you
Yeah.
look at golf, um, do you play? You play a recreational version of golf, don't you?
For the most part, yes. Well, one, I
Not,
ride in a cart.
no, that's part one. Part two, the rules are still the same, and you may not improve your lie. You may not have winter rules.
I,
When you hit one out of bounds, do you go back to the tee box?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you do, right? Every time
In
you play, or
well,
only in tournaments?
in tournaments, yeah.
Yeah, but when you play with your buddies, what do you do?
No, no. Well, this depends. I mean, if it's a marked OB, that's one thing. But if it's a red staked area or hazard, that's different.
Well, you hit it in the trees.
Oh, then
You can't find
it's
it.
a lost ball. Yeah,
What do
no.
you do?
Well, recreation's different because you got people holding up.
Oh, but
You
what
want
do
to
you
keep the
do?
pace.
What do you do? Tell me what you do. I don't know. What do you do? Do you walk
What
it
do I
out
do?
and drop it
I'll
and
just
take a
drop
penalty
from the.
stroke?
Yeah, I'll just take the penalty and
Right,
drop.
right. But that's not the rule,
That's
right? The
not the
rule is
rule.
you
No,
okay.
it's like
So
Monopoly. It's like Monopoly. You play
yeah,
house rules.
exactly. So it's the same thing though. When you go play at your course, you don't have 8-inch rough or 6-inch rough or whatever you have, right?
Depends.
Well,
Sometimes they don't do mowing very well.
okay, but I'm saying for the most part, the average municipal course does not have that same problem. What's the stimp reading on the green? It's not 15 or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So that's sort of a recreation version. Some of the like baseball to me, and I've always been a baseball player, is the only real true sport because nothing changed until now. They got pizza boxes and carnival runners, but before that, um,
I mean, nothing changed. They put helmets on people.
That was safety.
Oh,
Right. Oh yeah, right. Forget. But I'm saying it was never. How did the guy that invented baseball, 90 feet, 60 feet, 6 inches?
I think it was arbitrary.
Think about this though.
Yeah.
The guy hits a ground ball to short, and he gets thrown out at first base by half a step.
Yeah.
1912.
Run faster.
1912. Thrown out by half a step. 2023. He got thrown out by half a step. How is that possible?
The game got faster. Exit velocities got faster. So people got more athletic.
And then in the old days, how did that happen? That the guy still got thrown out by half a step?
Wasn't trying that hard. They're fixing games.
So what I'm saying is that game has never really changed. I'm sure the other sports are the same way, but even with basketball, they changed the 3-point line. They changed the rules on what you can do, and
And the game's changed for golf. The golf courses haven't changed from the 40s, but the equipment's changed. Now it makes the golf course shorter.
Right. I
So
agree.
same thing. Reactive resin helped make the lane.
It made the lane
and the oil patterns. The lane didn't change.
No, you're right.
For the most part, obviously synthetic versus old wood or whatever shellac, but the path to get to the pocket got a whole lot more open.
By design.
By design, yeah.
Right, by design. They could still make them impossible if they wanted to. Sure. And then none of the balls would work.
And then nobody would want to bowl a league.
Because nobody would want to bowl a league.
That's
not enjoyable. Right there, I got the word enjoyable.
That's the hard line in the sand, I think, is you're in recreation or you're bowling for the competitive sport about it is
right.
If you made the lanes impossible, would the league still bowl, or would you bowl in the league or not? And
exactly.
If you left, then you're a recreation bowler.
Right. Not to interrupt you, but do we have a giveaway today?
We do, and I was just about to interrupt you.
Okay.
Oops. We're going to post the link one more time, but everybody is familiar with this guy, the wheel spin.
And we had a winner last week. He got the grand prize.
Grand prize. 3 bowling balls and a tote to carry them all in.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to...
What did he choose?
He went hitter, zigzag, deadly rattler, and a radical triple tote to put them all in. So I'm going to post the link one more time. What is it? 33 after the hour. You got 40 seconds to get your trash guy in, by the way. My number's already picked, but
yeah.
So we're going to post that link a couple more times before the top of the hour, and we're going to draw someone. And you want to tell them the stipulation?
Oh, yeah. So stipulation, make sure I get it right. If you're still in the show watching when your name is drawn, and we spin it and you don't want that prize, if you're in the show, you get a second chance.
Yep. You can say, respin. We want what's behind
curtain number 2. If you're not, you get what it is. And that's it. You get the ball cup, you get the chamois, you get the whatever it is.
Yeah. The last week he wasn't in there. Not that he would have changed his pick anyway.
No,
but
he wouldn't have changed his pick. So we have a lot of questions, I guess, or comments.
We do. I'm going to scroll back, but is there anything you want to add while I'm doing this so there's not dead air?
No, let's talk about, I guess tomorrow is the, is that the release day of the zigzag?
It is.
It is.
Talk about that? Yeah,
I can talk about the zigzag a little bit. Tomorrow is the release day. We had a lot of great success with the staffers that got the ball early. Seth first 3 games out of the box shoots 8 and change. Steve Jarrow's first game out of the box shot 300. There have been other people as well at the staffers that have gotten them and crushed them. The unique thing about it, again, it's one of those computer generated cores that we have Steve Freshour doing for us. He's got a program he wrote that is absolutely phenomenal. The predictability of the ball motion and dialing it in is incredible. The first ball we did it on was the outer limits. Then we did it on the hitter, and now on a zigzag. And the other thing about the zigzag, which is pretty cool, the ratio between the total diff and the intermediate diff is 3-to-1. So we did that so that this ball with the combination of the hybrid HK22 is not likely to roll forward as most asymmetrical balls would. It's pretty unique. Guy on my team last night, Victor Valadez, used the ball and just 250, 250. It was just like incredible how he would just hit the pocket and kill him. I drove my son a hitter.
Victor Valdez, isn't that the guy from the Colombian coffee commercials?
No, that's not. That's Juan Valdez.
Ah, dang it.
Valdez, not Valadez. I drove my son Joe a hitter, and he's a recreation bowler, enjoys it. And,
that's what we're calling
anyhow,
him now. Everybody's you're just a recreational.
it's recreational bowler. He was on a pair next to me, so he gets the ball out of the box. The thumb was big, so we put tape in and get him ready. And he throws like 8 shots in practice. He strikes 7 times with it. It's a big joke. He starts the game out with the front 5. So here he is. He's got like 11 out of the first 12.
Oh, man.
Doesn't bowl that good the rest of the way. Bowls terrible the second game. Changing balls, fiddling around. Takes it out the third game, shoots 230. And him and Victor Valadez, the guy on my team, they win the double spot.
Wow.
Of which I had half his action, by the way. So.
Of course you did, which is great because we're about to do a top 5 before we get into questions.
Let's do the top 5.
Top 5 things that should be in bowling centers but aren't.
And what's wrong with that sentence?
I don't know.
All
You
right.
tell me.
No,
There's nothing wrong with that.
All right, go ahead.
Whatever.
Preposition.
Don't be a podcast police. I thought you were better than that. What do you guys think? What is not something in a bowling center that you think absolutely should belong? And you'll see by the number 5 answer here, you'll figure out where we're going with this. All right, top 5 things that should be in bowling centers but aren't. Number 5, rage rooms. How awesome would it be after a bad night of bowling that you can go into a soundproof room and there's, you put on your safety goggles and whatever safety gear you got to put on and just bash some windshields with a baseball bat, just break porcelain all over.
Because you are a recreational bowler
who's living in a competitive bowler's skin.
Exactly.
But yeah, rage room. That's number 5. That might be number 1. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
They have escape rooms all over, but rage room, yeah.
That's perfect, right?
You get $10, $20 for 2 minutes. How about that? Go have fun. All right, number 4. Here we go. Gamblers Anonymous meeting rooms.
It's unbelievable how there was always gambling in bowling. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
Okay. So this is just a little funny sideline. So last week we bowled and the lane machine had broken and they used an old machine and it was a problem with the machine. The scores were terrible. Mm-hmm. And they have a mystery score in my league on Tuesday night. It's $5 to get in. And it pays between $250 and $300 a game if you get picked for a mystery score, right?
Yeah.
About 5 weeks ago, this is unheard of. A guy hit both. It's only for 2 games. The guy hit it both games. Same guy.
Wow.
Well, he bowled 110 and 158. And think about that. The guy shot 368 and he won $500.
He didn't even shoot 368. You're bad at math.
What did he shoot? Oh, 268.
No, you forgot to carry the 1.
Forgot to carry the 1. 268.
and divide that by 3 is 340.
Can I talk? Yes. Whenever I
point at you, you talk.
Anyhow, he shoots 368. He wins $500. The lanes were so bad last week that my team.
He just made more than half the PBA players out there.
Probably did. The lanes were so bad last week that my team, halfway through the first game, we were bowling for mystery score.
I mean, yeah, which is exactly why number 4 belongs where it should, because everybody will bet on everything. You got to have action.
Absolutely right. I mean, it's just incredible.
When it comes to the bowling degenerates, there is no game or sport. It's just all sport.
We used to have odd pin. You ever bowl odd pin?
No.
Oh yeah, you can't. You only count odd numbers in your game.
So you can't strike.
You get 0.
What a stupid game.
Pin. Well, because you couldn't play. Everybody wanted to bet pot games. They wanted to bowl, but a guy's much better than you. You can't beat him in a pot game. And
you got to try to hustle him.
not pot games per se, matches. I challenge you. We're going to bet $100 a game,
Yeah.
$200 a game. You can't compete, but you compete at odd pin because if you got a 7 count, you got 7. If you got an 8 count, you got 0.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that would be like for you at the House of Pain. That'd be in your wheelhouse, getting 7.
That's exactly right. I would win at that game. So bowlers will bet on everything,
Yeah.
and if they can't, they'll make up a game that they can bet on.
I used to, when I bowled the U.S. Open one year in Southern California, and it
Uh-huh.
was not my squad, I would hang out in the bleachers watching
Yeah.
bowlers,
Yeah.
and I would hang out with a friend. I don't want to mention his name because, but we used to bet $1 on everybody. We'd see a bowler get up to bowl their first shot, and
Right.
it'd be over under on how many pins they were going to knock down.
We do that at the at nationals. We did that forever at nationals, and we had that most times. It was over under 7.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, over under on 6 with 2-to-1 odds on $1. What do you say?
Yeah, we'd have 6 guys sitting at the table behind at nationals where they had before they took everything out, and there'd be dollars all over the table.
That's great. All right, moving on. Ready?
Yeah.
Number 3, massage stations.
Gotta have
You get those at the casinos, at poker rooms all the time. They come up to you and like, would you like massage?
Yeah.
I might get into that. Shoot, that might be a side hustle for me. I don't think I'll get much, business.
Yeah. I don't think you would. Sorry.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I would hire people that would, and then
So how long would your league night be if you had massage stations?
Phil, you're up. I'm like, I know, but I'm paying for the minute.
I got 5 minutes here.
I got 5 minutes. Sorry.
Skip me.
Yeah, just give me a 0 for the frame.
Oh, God.
I got a knot in my back.
Yeah, exactly.
Cinnamon here is giving me a massage.
Cinnamon. Oh, my God.
All right.
Hence the dollar bill. But go ahead.
Number 2.
Reserve parking. I like that. I like that.
Now, I see this at golf courses all the time. Like they have reserve parking for club champion for the women and the men.
Right.
Special parking, maybe even a section for reserve parking for, league champs, whatever. The reigning league champ gets to park.
Sure.
So you got 5 spots or whatever for the winning team.
Yep.
You get to park there for the whole next season.
That'd be perfect, right?
On your league night.
Except for your league night. Yeah, but that's true. That's perfect. Unless you did it for the whole year, then no one would have any place to park.
Right. Just park sideways through them all.
Exactly.
Nice.
And the number one
thing that should be in a bowling center but isn't.
Right.
Direct phone lines to the lane man.
So you can call up and thank him.
Yes. It should be
an award score.
Every table should have a direct line to the lane man to say, hey,
I just want to thank
buddy,
you.
I got to tell you, you did a great job. Here's $10. I want to give you a little piece of my action from the night.
You can have a lane man tip cup.
Yeah, there you go. Lane man tip cup.
Yeah.
Tip your lane man.
Lane man. You did a great job on the lanes tonight. I want to thank you for all of the strikes I got.
Yes,
I'm a recreational bowler.
Yes, but you made me feel like a sport bowler tonight.
Exactly. That's a good top 5, Nick. You did a good job. You got the numbers right too.
Did I? I didn't even pay attention.
Usually a 50-50 with you, but that's okay.
I've been better since I,
since you started watching Sesame Street again.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you need a refresher course. Like I couldn't do algebra right now to save my life.
Right. That's true.
If I went back and read the book, then I'd be like, oh yeah. I
didn't like it the first time.
Yeah, I can't believe I sat through years of this. Yeah. They said it was going to be so important.
Yeah. How many times do you use that?
I haven't.
I have a couple of times building squaring up a base for a shed and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure you have.
How else do you make a square?
I'm looking at one. Ask your dad. Ask your parents.
I'm gonna get new friends. I'm looking that up.
How do you make a square? Ask your parents.
How do you unfriend someone? Unfriend someone doing that
on Facebook. Make sure you ask on Facebook.
Facebook. Okay. So what do we got here? Let's see.
I'm gonna post the link one more time. It's
I think you need to.
I'm gonna post the link one more time.
1:45.
If you haven't already entered into the giveaway, we got the link there. How many entries do you think we have? I haven't even checked.
How many people are watching?
We got 246 at the moment.
195.
You think 195? So we got
Yeah.
like 50 staffers in the chat that shouldn't be
Or
getting
people
in.
that don't believe we're giving anything away.
It's a fake. It's
It's a
conspiracy.
conspiracy. No one's getting anything. Not
We got
getting.
223.
We have more
200.
votes than voters.
Man, this national election, what's going on?
How'd that happen? Was this
Who's
Georgia?
stuff in the box? We're going to be double checking, make sure there's not multiples.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Let's go through some comments here.
All right,
Kevin
I'm looking.
says, game, a form of play or sport, especially a competitive one played according to rules and decided by skill, strength, or luck.
Yep, I looked that one up. I did see
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Do you copy and paste that from the internet?
he did.
Is
He did.
that exactly what you have written down
It's exactly what I had written down.
for all your thoughts? By the way, your
Well,
kids
I
are,
took keywords. My 234 got blown out of the water.
yeah,
Maybe
I think
they're on strike.
That's what I said. You owe me a Coke, Jinx. Roy, what do you guys think of Olympic committee choosing flag football and not bowling for the new sport? Do you think bowling will ever be an Olympic sport?
I do not think it will be
I don't think so either.
because the environment changes, and it changes dramatically during the event. I mean, think about it. I have a team of 5 righties,
Yeah.
and that pattern is going to change as opposed to a team that has a mixed team of lefties and righties.
Yeah.
And do they bowl each other? And if one team has no lefties, the left side stays the same. This team is throwing urethane, and that one ball is still legal, isn't it?
Which ball?
That one ball. What's the name of that? It's not legal.
What's not?
No,
Do you hear him? I heard a beep.
no.
I'm just hearing
Oh,
things.
there it is. Still legal.
That's the one.
And that would be legal in an Olympic event. Think about that. Think
Yeah.
about that. In an Olympic event, where the
Nothing
whole
has
world can participate.
Nothing has more integrity than the U.S. Olympic Committee.
The committee allows that, but one of our organizations won't. So I don't think it would be for that, for the reason of the environment changing. What's there today is not the same as tomorrow. You know, a guy jumps in a swimming pool and swims the distance. His distance stayed the same. Although there is variations in what lane you're in with swimming.
Do you think that really pays a difference, whether you're on the end or middle?
Well, it used to be worse than it is now. They put some stuff in some, I don't know what they use to prevent the waves.
There he is. I hear it. Beep, beep.
Yeah, he's late today.
Who had 348?
348.
48. 48's a winner.
Yeah, so it used to be in the early days, and I used to watch the Olympics in the 60s, where the outer ones, it came by qualifying time. The faster guys got in the middle and so on. But then they figured out a way to, I don't know what it is, a baffle of some kind to prevent the waves from affecting those lanes.
No,
But
I'm
they
looking
fixed
to
that.
Yeah. I'm looking to see if anybody had 48. I didn't see any 48s here.
Yeah. And then the same thing with the track and field, 100 meters, 100 meters. Sometimes the surface they run on is a little different, but I think that's pretty standard. The high jump.
Do you think there's a mental block on which lane you get in those? Because obviously, if you're on the outer, you know how they stagger it,
right?
Because the
you're talking about running when you run.
Yeah.
So
like on a 400 meter, you're doing one whole lap, right?
Yeah.
So obviously it equals out, but do you think there's like a mental disadvantage to starting behind? You know what I mean?
I don't think so, because they train for that.
Yeah.
It's not like the first time I ran it. Look how far behind this guy I am.
Do you think that subconsciously you press like in the beginning when you shouldn't?
I don't know. I think they train for that. That's all part of training. In the beginning, you probably do. I got to catch up, but the guy said you're going to run the same distance. You got to believe him.
I mean, it is the same distance, right?
You got to believe the guy when he told you that. So I don't think it'll be in the Olympics for a lot of reasons. But badminton is.
I mean, that takes skill.
I thought I was going to see 5 Italian guys in T-shirts in the backyard with beers.
Nice.
I
mean, is that the drawing line? If it's
is that a sport or a recreation?
Well, I think any sport you can eat and drink while you do it is a game, right?
So you can eat while you can't eat while you're bowling. Maybe.
Can you eat while you're playing football, playing baseball? I mean, not when you're actually playing.
Babe Ruth did. He had hot dogs.
Not while he was at a bat.
Yeah.
But I
Oh,
guess
yes.
at the same token, I mean, when I get out of the cart and hit a golf ball, I'm done eating. I'm gonna go hit my ball.
Yeah, the sandwich is still sitting on the chair, and you hope the bird didn't come in the cart and get it.
Oh my God! In California, there's a at the resort that we go to. Sometimes there's a golf course there,
Yeah.
and there is a squirrel on hole 7 or 6
See?
that they actually have a sign up that
Yeah,
said, "This is so and so's hole. Watch out! Don't leave any food because they will go through your entire cart
exactly. They're
and find
trained.
stuff you hid."
No, that's amazing.
And they open up chips and they're ruthless. They watch you get out of the cart. They watch you go on the green. And as soon as you get on the green and turn your back, they're in your cart. It's amazing. Jerome, that's the squirrel's name.
It was
Jerome's hole.
Jerome's
Yeah.
home.
I cracked up because you hide your stuff because it's not going to be there when you come back.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, perfect.
There we go.
What else
Martin
we got?
says bowling in a league as a sport, 180 plus average recreation bowling in a disco setting and no oil and house shoes. I don't
I don't
necessarily
think you can
agree.
put, yeah, I don't either. I don't think you can put a number on it, right?
Yeah, you can't put a number on it because there's 230 average bowlers in recreation leagues. It doesn't matter what you average.
And there's a guy 165 that's trying like hell to become a great bowler. He's practicing. He's bowling in a competitive league.
Yeah.
I don't think you can put a number on it. I think you can put it on. I don't know. I don't think there is. I think it's what you're in it for is part of it. But I think you got to look at steerability. How much steerability is put into that pattern you're bowling on to make it more enjoyable?
Yeah.
So
All right.
somebody's always going to bowl good. Somebody's always going to win.
It's always got to be a winner.
Somebody's got to win.
And it's usually the same people. We already talked about that with the handicap system, how it's
We
flawed.
did. That's exactly right.
We already went down that road.
Yeah,
I think that was probably 6 episodes ago,
I
probably.
think it was. Yeah, it
Somewhere in
was.
there. Handicap should be capped. I think that was what our topic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just I don't know about the whole Olympics thing. I mean, they had that big thing a while back about the oilless lane, and that was going to be the end all cure, solve everything for
Yep.
the Olympics because it wouldn't change.
I was involved in that.
You invented that, huh?
I didn't invent it. Bill Taylor did.
Yeah. So what was the holdup there? The cost?
Bill Taylor.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what it was. It's a pretty interesting story. Bill Taylor had this great idea of putting a coating on panels.
Yeah.
Okay, and the coating would simulate an oilless lane, so the oil never changed. It was built into the pattern. It was built into the lane. It was a flat pattern, gutter to gutter, oilless, and it might have like a Teflon type material that was. And we brought it to Westinghouse, and they built us samples. It was expensive. We paid $250,000 to do the prototypes and develop it, right?
Wow.
And it was simply you put it on top of your lane. You don't have to do anything.
Okay.
It had a magnetic locking system that you just put the pattern, you put the lanes down. They were numbered 1 through 4, whatever they were.
Yeah.
Put them down. And the ones that you put down lane had less of it in to create back end motion, and the front had more. It was fantastic. We tested it around the country. Tested it in Vegas at I think it was Sunset Lanes. I think that was the name of the place. Maybe not. It was a small bowling center.
That's not Sunset.
That's not Sunset.
Well, there was a Sunset Lanes there.
Yes, it was, right? It was small, like a 24.
It was by Sunset Station, but it's not Sunset Station. It was Sunset Bowl. It was near that side of town, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we had people tested it. Mike Durbin tested it. We had a bunch of pros come in and test it.
I think Renteria had the pro shop there for a while. Does that sound right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You might be right. Anyway, this was fantastic. It was going to do a lot of things. There was no lane maintenance. There was no disparity in the shot. Whatever you put out stayed out. And it was going to go. Bill Taylor did not want us to build in texture into them to create a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted every lane to be gutter to gutter, flat.
Oh, okay.
Well, how could I sell that to anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the best part.
It's just being stubborn. I mean, you got to have something, right? Some give.
Well, here's the problem. You had 4 panels. You can put whatever texture you wanted in the panel, and they were reversible. You could flip them over.
Okay.
So I could have had a million combinations and sold it to a bowling center, and the guy could put out whatever pattern he wanted, with a direction sheet. These combination will give you this, 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 and this. Anybody that needed new lanes would buy that because they didn't need to oil a lane. They didn't need a lane machine.
But didn't you need a pretty pristine surface underneath your lane bed, on your lane
No, you
bed?
put it on your lanes. You put it right on your lane.
Well, how thick was this overlay? Was it?
It was like a 3/4 inch plywood, like that thick.
Oh, so it wasn't like a
No, it
lane.
wasn't a film.
It
No,
wasn't
no,
a
no,
film. Okay, so that's
no.
where I'm like, wait, what do you mean it magnet? So if it's 3/4 inch, how does it not stick up over the foul line?
Well, the prototypes did, but we had preparations for that. In other words, they were going to be sloped. You know, you couldn't hit it when you threw it. I mean, there was some things going on. These are just the prototypes, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And he did not want that to be allowed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could have sold a guy that he had no lane machine, didn't need new lanes, and the thing, and you couldn't bitch. Nobody would bitch about the shot. It wouldn't change.
No, I mean, if you weren't matched up, you weren't going to get matched up, right?
That's exactly right.
Hmm.
He wouldn't allow it.
Well, it doesn't make sense to have just one pattern.
He was a purist.
That doesn't make sense because if you get really good doing the one thing, then what fun is that? That's
It
not
was
sport.
no pattern. It wasn't a pattern. It was gutter to gutter.
No, I know, but it's still a pattern. It's a pattern.
No, I understand, but
and you get good at doing one thing.
That was it. That's all he wanted.
Right. Well, they're going to figure it out. You have multiple.
He wanted everybody to throw it like Durbin.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So.
All right. Dave says, I bowled a PBA Experience League. We started with 32 bowlers, and after the first night on Dragon Pattern, half the bowlers quit.
So was that like a Survivor game? Who could make it to the end
Survivor
of the league?
Pool? Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I mean, it's even around here. I mean, when I first came to Michigan, we had a travel sport league.
Right.
And I think it was like 12 or 14 teams, 16 teams, maybe. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
And then like 3-4 years later, we're down to like 6 or 8 teams, and then we folded the league.
Exactly.
Same thing. It's like people on the surface, like, yeah, I want a challenge, I want a sport, and then eventually you get tired of shooting 160s.
But again, if 160 is not the measuring stick, but it's your ability to improve, you can bowl 160 and throw it pretty good. I just don't know what I'm doing yet, right? I mean, I'm working on my release. That's fine. But the problem is what you want to measure it against. That's where the problem comes in. You
measure it against 200 on sport.
Exactly. So I want to get closer to 200.
Yeah, but a lot of people weren't happy. It wasn't happening for people.
No,
and that's why they quit. They don't want they don't want the sport of bowling. They want to strike and high five their buddies and go home and brag.
I was in a sport league one time, and they had a 10-pin drop rule, which was the dumbest thing on the planet. They wanted to bowl on a sport pattern, and I don't say sport meaning it was USBC or ABC dictated. It was a tougher pattern. They wanted to bowl on a tougher pattern with a 10-pin drop rule. So you had 210 average. The lowest you can get handicapped off of was 200. Regardless of how far below you were. That was the rule. There was a team, we had a blind in the league. We had 15 teams. The blind finished third.
Well, he was pretty consistent, so.
Think about it. 'Cause every time you bowl the blind, you had to bowl within 10 pins of your average, and you had a 10-pin drop rule. The blind finished third.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to put him in all the brackets. They wouldn't let me.
Yeah. Rodney says tennis has grass, clay, and hard courts. It's all different.
That's right.
Bowling has oil patterns. So, yeah, I mean, it takes a different kind of play on hard court versus
absolutely
clay. I mean, those guys slide around. I'm sure it's all different shoes that they wear and everything.
Yep.
I only played tennis ever on a hard court. I think I would probably tear my Achilles on clay. It would look like a cartoon character when they go to try to run fast and they're just running.
And they just spin in its face with dust coming out the back, right?
That'd be me playing on clay. All right. Looks like the entries have closed for the giveaway. We'll do that giveaway here in a few minutes.
How many?
Let's see what we got. I'm going to refresh that and go through some more questions here. But yeah. Oh, here we go. Someone called you out. Baseball hasn't changed. The designated hitter rule would like a word with you, Phil.
Well, that's not baseball rules. They just designated a hitter rather than another person hitting in its place, like a pitcher.
Pitcher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They didn't change the base length. The balls changed over the years simply from the dead ball era, but they really hadn't gone and changed all the rules of the game. Yeah, it's still three strikes, four balls, and three outs, and nine players, and they're all the same distance away. They've always been that way. So the designated hitter again. But what caused that? What caused them to change that? They wanted more scoring so people could have more enjoyment,
More action.
but that didn't affect the players.
Maybe that rule was enacted by all the bookies who wanted the
Hit
overs
the
to pay
overs.
more.
Hit the overs.
Mhm.
Exactly. Nice.
Ian wants to
Absolutely.
know, was the zigzag named after how quick the WNBA players zigzag all over the court?
I was waiting for the NBA connotations to come in, and Ian never disappoints.
Never disappoints.
Never disappoints.
He is as dependable on that front as it gets. Let me tell you.
You can't even book that bet. You know it's going to be there.
That is, like betting on the garbage truck time.
Yeah.
That's a coin. That's a who knows where it's going to land. That's
Right.
like
Right.
roulette. Like betting on his comment about the WNBA. That's like
It's automatic.
That's like Eddie.
Automatic.
That's like the anti Eddie Mush.
Exactly right. That's guaranteed. Nice.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch up with comments, later on, if we missed anything.
All right.
But I'm gonna go and find some winner to spin the wheel. How about that? Does that sound fun for everybody?
I think it is. How long is it going to take you to find this winner?
It's gonna take me about 45 seconds. Do you think you can fill that void?
Yeah. What do you want me to talk about in 45 seconds?
I don't know. Talk about what's maybe coming in the new year. What plans maybe Radical has? What you're planning to accomplish next week coming here.
Pull out my little sheet. We have some good stuff coming down the pike. We've tested a lot of good balls in the last couple of weeks. Another backs of balls that Seth picked up today for a ball test tomorrow. The one we're testing for tomorrow, I will tell you, it's another Mo Heritage core. And that won't be out until probably June. So we're getting ahead of schedule. I'm going up to see Nick and company in Muskegon. Maybe next week's top 5 things should be the top 5 things to do in Muskegon in the winter.
Wow. You can come up with that all on your own?
I can do that without a problem. Is it okay if they're all the same thing?
Yeah, go ahead. What is it?
No, that's all right. I'm not gonna reveal that now.
Oh.
We'll do it next week. So again, we have a lot of good things we're working on. The success of the computer generated cores is really absolutely amazing for us right now. The predictability, the ease of testing. We know what we're going to get. We know what we're going to get before we even drill the ball. The program has the after drilling numbers built into it already, so you can just plug in a grip, pin to pap, and we've been hitting it right on the head. The hitter was one. It was first. Our second one. The outer limits was the first one, and there'll be new versions of those balls coming down the pike too. And having said that, Nick has found
I have
a winner.
I have.
Now remember the rules. Here are the rules again.
Here are the rules before we pick.
You got to be still in the show. If you get picked and you're in the show and you spin the wheel and you don't like the gift, you can get one more spin.
Yes.
Then you got to take whatever it was. It's not like I'm going to try for something else, but no, I like the other one.
You get nothing.
You get nothing. You like it. So remember, that's the case. If you're still here,
yeah,
you get a second spin. If you
have a winner.
I
did not find this person in our staff group, so I did a quick search.
Oh, you did that too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I make sure that the name doesn't pop up in our staff group that we have. But the big winner of the spin today is Ben Swanson. Ben, are you here?
Ben, tell us you're here, Ben.
Ben, if you're in the room.
You're in the room.
Look what we got. We got a wheel spin coming your way. Ben Swanson, are you
here?
Ben? Let's see what we got. I haven't seen.
Ben's not here.
Ben. There he is, Benjamin Swanson. He's here.
He is. I'm here. Good, Benjamin.
Right.
Way to go, buddy. Here we go.
And he's wearing a Radical shirt. Look at that.
Nice
See ya?
picture.
Nice picture.
Yeah.
All right. So Ben, you know the
Yeah.
rules. You are not on staff, right, Ben?
That's rule number one. I'm not
Rule
on
number
staff.
1, you're not on staff, right?
Yeah, I think next week we have to mention it more often about you got to be in it to win it. So
Oh no, because life happens. You know how it goes.
no, I meant you have to say in the show to get the second spin.
Oh, right,
We have
right,
to say
right.
that more often next week during the show.
I think
We
we
gotta
said
start
it. You said it quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't think I did.
All right, we're gonna get to spinning here.
right.
No, not on staff. Just love radical. Perfect, buddy. Well, glad your
I
name
appreciate
came
that.
up.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna give this a huge spin. Last week, someone won the grand prize. Will it happen again, Phil?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I mean, that was pretty cool. All right, here we go.
Here we go. And we gave it the spin.
Go, Ben, go. Let's see what we
Go,
got.
Ben, go. Ben gets a
Ball cup. It landed on
Ball
ball cup. All right, Ben, since
Ben.
you're here, I happen to have those ball cups right here.
They are pretty cool, by the way.
They are the spinning ones, so they're really good for cleaning and doing all that sorts of stuff.
They have like the ball.
Let's see what he wants to do. He said, what he wants to do? Does he want to respin, or does he want the ball cup? Let's see what we got here. Waiting for him.
What's he saying, Ben?
Spinner again, he says.
Spinner again.
We need the Gamblers Anonymous room for him.
Well, I'd spin it too if I had the ball cup.
All right. Here we go. Number 2 spin. This is what you get. No takebacks. Here we go.
Keep it. You got it.
Go, go, go. What do we got?
What does Ben get? Ben is gonna get. Oh, it went right past it.
It went to grip sack. All right. Grip sack it is. That almost got close to the grand prize again.
Again.
You had a little heart murmur there. Not quite a heart attack, but
no, it was just like, oh no, not again.
But yeah, grip sack.
Grip
Ben.
sack, Ben. Sorry, I would have kept the ball cup.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, that was fun. We had him in the chat there.
Yep, that was good. Ben, I'd have kept the ball cup.
You messed up, Ben.
You messed up, Ben. You screwed up. You should have kept the ball cup.
Just
the
kidding.
grass is not always greener.
We'll get you a grip sack. I think we have radical ones. Don't we have radical
Yeah,
ones?
we do. I think we do.
All right, yeah. So I'll reach out to you after the show.
I don't have one, but we have them.
That's why I do it all. That's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry
I don't
about
have
it.
any grip sacks.
Oh. What do you mean you don't have any?
I don't have a grip sack.
What do you mean you don't have a grip sack?
I don't have a radical grip sack. I have a Yankee grip sack.
Oh, nice. All
All
right. All right. That was a good show. I thought we had a good show. Is bowling a game or sport? It's both. I'm
going to go through the comments as I usually do. If you missed it and I answered it, I won't be responding to you. But if I didn't, I'll try to answer to it. I get some of the people answered. They wrote in, and I had already answered that question. So
we're done then.
That's it. That's it. I'm not answering again.
We did our job.
That's right. We covered it.
All right.
All right. So next week I'll be up in Muskegon with Nick. We won't be in the same room.
Yeah.
They won't allow that.
No.
And I'll be up there. We'll do the show from Muskegon next week.
Don't forget your microphone. The show does not go on without your microphone.
I got to remember to write that down.
You better just go take it home now and pack it up.
You need my camera too, right?
I got extra camera here. It'll work. But if you want to bring your camera, you can bring that too.
No, I don't want to, unless I need to.
It'll make it easier on you. Trust me, it'll make it easier for you.
If I bring the camera.
Yeah, don't worry about a tripod. Just bring the camera.
I'll just say they would hold it. Okay. That's perfect. All right.
Yeah.
I got to hold the camera. I'll see you guys next week. Nick,
Yep.
I'll see you probably Monday or Tuesday.
I'll see you right after the show.
I'll see you right after the show.
All right, everybody.
Guys. Thank you.
Take care. Thanks for tuning in.
And we'll see you
Podcast
next week. Out.
episode 36.